Welcome to Unbreakably Bold. I'm your host, Christina Delgado. This podcast is for anyone who is ready to step into their power, stop doubting their abilities, and begin to live their life in alignment. On this podcast, we will talk all things mindset, relationships, personal development, confidence, and so much more. I'm here to foster intentional conversations, drop some knowledge, and learn alongside you all with the aim of showing up as empowered and unbreakably bold every single day. No matter where you are on your journey of doing the work, this podcast is guaranteed to make you feel less alone. Let's get into it, shall we? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Unbreakably Bold. It's your girl, Christina Delgado, back again with another great episode for you guys. Today, I'm going to do a little solo ep, so just a little you and me time. Really excited to get into this episode with y'all. There has been obviously a lot of planning that has come with this podcast, and I mean, so many things that I have learned and that I want to continue to learn, to continue to grow throughout my journey of personal development and healing and breaking generational trauma and all of that fun stuff. But arguably, there are a few things that I think have been truly vital to my new mindset and to my overall growth. One of those things being self-esteem. I have always struggled with low self-esteem, and I honestly didn't even realize it until probably about 6 months ago, when I really started this journey. I have always been one who, I haven't always been confident, but I've always really been able to fake it. The amount of times that people have complimented my confidence and have told me that they admire my confidence and they aim to have confidence like me. And I've even been told that I have taught other people how to be more confident. It's wild because inside my self-esteem was so unbelievably low. And what's interesting is that self-esteem and confidence are two completely different things. So the way that I can break it down in the simplest of terms is that your confidence is a matter of your trust. It's a matter of believing in your abilities and trusting that you got this, okay? And your self-esteem is an assessment of your value. So looking within yourself and feeling as though you add any value to this world, you are a valuable person and you bring valuable things to the table. So both are extremely important, but I think that self-esteem, just for me personally, I look at it as really that internal aspect. So having a low self-esteem literally means that you don't feel that you add value. And for some reason, value just shakes me. That word is so powerful to me. And when I look back, it's so true. I really did not think that I added any value to this world. I didn't think that I was good enough to accomplish my goals. I didn't think that I was good enough even to be treated in the way that I felt I deserved to be treated by my friends and by my family, which is crazy. And I want to share a quote with you guys to start this episode off. I am a quote nerd, but I just think that it really gives us a really good starting place for this episode. The quote is, "It's not what you are that is holding you back. It's what you think you are not." Take a minute to listen to that. It's not what you are that's holding you back. It's what you think you are not. It's what you think you can't do. It's what you think people do better than you. It's thinking that you are not enough. And as a friend, as a sister, as a daughter, the one thing that irks me out of anything in life is seeing the people that I love and that I care so much about think that they are not enough or think that they are not good enough. And that has always made me sick. That has always pissed me off. And maybe that's why people have said that I make them believe in themselves and they feel empowered by me and that I give them confidence, because it really at my core, it upsets me. And it's wild that I care so much about everybody else and how they always felt and how I made them feel, but I never cared about how I made myself feel. I never cared about the fact that I didn't think that I added value to this world. And not to get super deep, but I mean, I have gone through moments of being so depressed and thinking that I really there was no reason that I was here, that I truly contemplated suicide. And I know that's heavy, and I'm not trying to make it that heavy, but I know that there are people who can resonate with that. And I know that there are people who have taken the actual steps to try. And it breaks my heart. No matter what you believe in, faith-wise, religion-wise, you have to know that you were made for a reason. You have to know that you exist for a purpose, and you may not know that purpose yet, and it may not be clear to you yet, but you have to have faith that this isn't by chance that you're here. Even if you're not supposed to be here to be the president of the United States, or a doctor who saves lives, or a social worker who supports families and children through tough times, doesn't mean that you don't have value. You could simply be on this earth, at least right now as you know it, to be a person who's smiling, to be kind to your brother, to your sister, to the people around you, just to be a light. You know, you don't have to be doing some courageous act and some courageous job to have value and to add value to this world. So don't even get me. I really could have a whole TED talk about just trying to encourage others to understand that they're here for a reason, but let me get off my soapbox and let's get into this episode. If you're not sure if you have low self-esteem or not, let me tell you some things that showed up in my life that triggered me to understand that I struggled with low self-esteem. 1, you care about what other people think about you. Oh my gosh. This is something that I actually still am working on to this day. This is something that is rooted in me. It has been rooted in me since I was young. And I think this is truly something that I'm going to have to navigate for the rest of my life in a way. And although I have grown exponentially from it, that is one thing that is a huge red flag that you have low self-esteem. You care about what other people think of you. You care about if people are going to be upset that you're not wanting to attend something. You feel like you can't go to the lake without putting makeup on because people are going to see your acne, and you feel like you're not good enough. You feel like you're worried what they're going to think about you. That one was oddly specific because that has happened to me a long time ago, but you get my point. Number 2, negative self-talk. Oh, this one, guys. Negative self-talk is so prevalent, and sometimes you don't even realize that you're doing it. For example, something bad happens to you. This is my fault. I deserve this. I'm not good enough. I'm fat. I'm ugly. I'm stupid. I'm dumb. My opinion doesn't matter. I can't do this. Those are some examples of negative self-talk. If you're saying those things, please continue to listen. Next, you don't believe in yourself or your abilities. Oh, this one is heavy for me. I used to go after things and I never believed I could do it. And then I would self-sabotage because I didn't think I could do it anyway, but I was also afraid of the failure of if I even tried. So I would never give 100% in anything that I did because I was crippling with anxiety and fear of failing and proving myself even more right that I wasn't good enough, that I couldn't accomplish something. And I just ultimately didn't believe in my ability to do anything. And that stopped me from a lot of opportunities, and it stopped me from taking chances and trying new things, which the result of that made my self-esteem even lower because I never even tried anything new because I didn't feel like I could do it. So now I really didn't think I could do it, you know? Crazy. Okay. Number 4, I couldn't accept a compliment. You know, we have all probably been there. Someone tells you, you look beautiful today, and you respond with, oh my gosh, no, I look so pudgy in this shirt. Oh my gosh, no, my hair is a mess today. People don't have to give you compliments. People don't have to try to make you feel good. They're doing it because clearly they want to, and they see something that you're obviously not seeing in yourself. 5th sign that I was experiencing low self-esteem. I struggled making eye contact with others, and my body language was closed off. I would walk around with my arms crossed. I'd walk around with my head in my phone, not making eye contact because I felt so much anxiety about what they could possibly be looking at. When someone used to look at me, I used to feel extreme anxiety because I felt so not confident and my self-esteem was so low about myself and my body and who I was and just the person that I was, that when they would even look at me, I would just panic. It would be terrible. So avoiding that eye contact, having closed off body language, huge. And there were many more, but the sixth thing for me and the last thing that I will know is letting people mistreat you, not having boundaries. My first romantic relationship, was at a young age. We were growing up. I hold nothing negative against this person. I'm so grateful for the experience, but I literally let this dude do the most embarrassing things to me. He cheated on me. He straight up had sex with a girl while I was asleep in front of me. I walked in at a party to him hooking up with a girl, disrespecting me when we were very much together. And I took him back every single time. I just let him because I was comfortable and I loved him. And why would he stop mistreating me if I didn't even set the boundary and leave? So I want you guys to take a second and think about if you're currently doing any of those things today. Are you dodging compliments? Are you giving in to negative self-talk? Are you not placing boundaries? Are you avoiding eye contact? If the answer was yes to any of those 6 points that I made, then let's move forward and talk about 6 things I did to raise my self-esteem. Now, some of this is going to be tough love, y'all, okay? Because I think that, first of all, I am a tough love kind of a gal. I'm blunt. I'm to the point. I'm assertive. I'm really not sugarcoating stuff, and that's not a lot of people's style. And I do understand that. But for those who can hear it and who can resonate, then I hope you appreciate this. Okay. First thing that I did to raise my self-esteem. I stopped spending time with people who made me feel loud, people who made me feel like I was too much, people who made me feel uncomfortable, and people who just didn't seem to value me or my efforts. I have definitely felt mistreated by friends that I had been friends with for truly half of my life. Some of my longest time friends ultimately did not treat me in the way that I felt valued and in the way that I want to be treated. Now, my girl Oprah said, I don't get to tell people how to love me. I get to see how they love me and choose if I want to participate. That quote shook me when I heard it. For me, I used to expect that people treat me a certain way. And then when they didn't, I held a lot of resentment. But the issue was that I was never leaving. You can have an expectation for how people treat you, but once they show you that they're not willing to treat you in that way, you gotta go. You gotta take yourself out of that situation. And if you don't, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy, because this is a hard truth and a harsh fact that people are not gonna like, but you cannot control anybody. You can't control your boyfriend who would rather play video games than spend quality time with you. You can't control your friend who never cares to ask how you're feeling or how you're doing through a tough time. You can't control your parents who talk down to you when you make a decision that they don't agree with. And you can't control your girlfriend who doesn't want to post pictures of you on social media. The only thing you can control is yourself. And if you love yourself enough and you know your value and you know what you bring to the table as a human being on this earth, then you will walk away. No matter how many conversations you have, 9 out of 10 times, they're going nowhere. They'll be fixed for a minute and it'll go back to normal. Why? Because we can't control what other people do and how other people treat us. You got the control. So take it back and stop allowing others to mistreat you. By continuing to allow other people to mistreat you, you're sending the message that you mistreat yourself. Second thing I did to raise my self-esteem. I accepted compliments without pushback. I remember when I became very aware that I did that, and I told myself, from now on, anytime I get a compliment, I just say thank you. And for me, I'm one who tends to ramble when I'm uncomfortable, so I specifically told myself, just say thank you. Don't say anything else until you get good at this, until you get good at accepting compliments. So next time someone gives you a compliment for 1 week, just say thank you. nothing else, and see how that improves your self-esteem. Number 3, I continued to be a good person. So I have definitely been through my ups and downs in life, and I have definitely had some moments that I'm not proud of. I've had some moments where I'm not kind. I've had some moments where I've drank too much and I've cussed people out and tried to fight them. Funny, but not really that funny, because this is something that I've actually struggled with for a very, very long time, and I still continue to work on. But at the end of the day, at the root of who I am in my core, I am a great person. I care about other people more than I'd like to admit sometimes, and I love people so much, and I want the best for everybody around me. And we all have our ugly times, but as long as you show yourself grace and decide to get better every single day and not have those mishaps, you will know that you are a great person, and that will help improve your self-esteem, because in the end, your self-esteem is how you feel about yourself. It's the value that you add to this world. And if there's one thing that I add to this world, if there's one piece of value that I add to this world, it's that I am kind to almost everybody I come in contact with. And I'm really proud of that. And that in turn makes me feel good about myself and ultimately increase my self-esteem. Number 4, I took a big look at my strengths and my weaknesses, and I actually took the time to accept and grow from them. If you're somebody who takes everything personally, like I used to, it comes down to you not feeling good about yourself. Because if you were confident in whatever you felt that they were picking on, the reaction wouldn't be big. It wouldn't be this emotional uproar. It wouldn't make you feel bad about yourself, because you know who you are, and you know that whatever they're picking on has nothing to do with you. Their opinion has nothing to do with you. For example, an ex that I had, one of the last things that he said to me was that I wasn't confident in who I am and I didn't love myself. And I took so much offense to that. I was pissed. I was like, you don't know who I am. Like, I'm a bad bitch. What are you talking about? But in reality, he was absolutely right. And I felt so personally attacked when all he was doing was pointing out the obvious. My weakness at that time was that I didn't love myself, and that I didn't think that I added value, and I didn't ever feel like I was enough. And he was absolutely right. Now, if someone were to throw those words at me, I wouldn't even stutter. I wouldn't even blink. I'd be like, okay, that's your opinion and you're entitled to it. Next. Because I know now I really do love myself. So next time somebody tells you something that you feel like is a personal attack, take a minute, write it down. This is what I always do. I take a minute and I write it down, lock it in, and I go back to it when I'm at a calmer place, when I'm in a place where I feel like it's a safe place. And I really think about my patterns and my behavior and who I am and my strengths and my weaknesses. And I see if there's something to that. Not everybody is just trying to cut you down. Maybe the way that they presented their words could have been better, yes. But ultimately, there are people who are just trying to make you aware of the way that you're behaving and the person that you seem to be at that time. The more you can understand your strengths and weaknesses and be proud of those things, or at least be looking at them as opportunities to be working on them, the less offended you're going to be and the less impact it's going to have on your overall self-esteem and confidence, because you know you're working on those things and you're going to get better at them. The 5th thing that I did to raise my self-esteem, I made goals and I actually followed through on them. I stuck to the goals that I said I was going to accomplish. I never realized in the past that part of the reason I didn't believe in my own abilities is because I was never showing up for myself. I said I was going to wake up in the morning and work out on this day, and then I just didn't. And then at that point, I was like, well, I'll try again tomorrow. Oh, well, this week has basically already flown by and I haven't stuck to my goal or my plan. So I guess I'll just start next week, or I won't start at all, because let's be real, I'm not going to do it anyway. I can't accomplish that goal. Give yourself one goal for next week or tomorrow. Shoot, whatever works best for you. I'm more of like, let me start on a Monday kind of a girl, but you do you. But give yourself one goal. I'm going to give myself one right now, because this past week I really struggled. So my goal for this upcoming week is going to be to wake up at 6 a.m. 4 out of 7 days of the week for my morning workout. I got really, really good at promising myself that I was going to do this. And then sometimes you just fall off. And I think that that's okay. I'm not a perfect human being. So I showed myself self-compassion last week. And this next week coming up, I'm going to be ready to kick ass again. So I don't know how I'm going to figure out how to document this, but I will document this to show you guys and to hold myself accountable that I am making this goal and I am following through. So give yourself a goal too. Have fun with it and challenge yourself. The more you tell yourself that you are going to do things and you don't break that promise, the higher your self-esteem will become. I promise. And finally, the sixth thing that I did to raise my self-esteem was I stopped looking at myself as a body and more like a soul. Remember that there's more to being on this earth than just productivity and working your ass off and trying to be perfect. Goals are good. Accountability is good. Structure is good. But understand that you are a human being and you don't have control over everything that happens to you and your environment and your life. Things happen, things hit you out of nowhere, and that's okay. Be self-compassionate, give yourself grace, and treat yourself better. Love yourself. Self-care is something I never used to participate in, and now I make sure I have at least one self-care night or day once a week, period. I'm giving back to myself. I'm nourishing my body. I'm taking my bubble baths. I'm taking my walks. I'm doing a whole ass skin routine. I'm getting my nails done. I'm buying a cute outfit. I'm eating a bomb ass meal. Why? Because those things make me feel good and they make me feel cared for. Just because we're in our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, teen years or older doesn't mean that we don't deserve to live. It doesn't mean that we don't deserve to get taken care of. If you have a child, you're going to give them all the good things and you're going to take care of them and make sure that they're nourished and healthy. Do that for yourself too. I promise it will make a world of difference because if you take the time to take care of yourself, the more love you will find within yourself. I promise. So while you're at it, making a serious goal for yourself, why don't you go ahead and make another one for a self-care night this week? Give yourself one day or night minimum this week. Hey, if you want to do all 7, please do it. I am so here for it. But at the very least, promise yourself that you are going to take care of yourself and participate in self-care for whatever that looks like for you for one day this week. And I'm going to give myself that homework as well. So guys, to recap, because I know I just spit a lot out at you. To recap, here are the 6 things that I have done to raise my self-esteem in the past 6 months. 1, stop spending time with people who made me feel like I wasn't enough. 2, started accepting compliments without any pushback. 3, continued to be a good, kind person. 4, I took the time to look at my strengths and my weaknesses, and I took the time to truly accept them and work on the things that I felt my lowest about. 5, I made goals and I actually followed through on them. I stuck to my goals. I promised myself. And 6, I stopped looking at myself as just a body and started looking at myself as a soul. I took care of myself. I participated in self-care, self-compassion, and I ultimately gave myself grace. Remember, guys, high self-esteem is not something that you're just born with. Your self-esteem is majorly impacted by your environment, your friends, your family, and the world that we have grown up in today. And although low self-esteem may not necessarily have stemmed from you, it may not be your fault, it is your job to work on it. Because at the end of the day, no man, woman, parent, person is going to be able to change that self-esteem for you. That's up to you. So that wraps up my episode on the 6 things that I did to raise my self-esteem. I really hope that this added some value for you guys. I hope that you had some takeaways. If you did take anything away from this episode, and if you plan to do some homework assignments that I threw in there, please reach out to me, DM me. I want to know how it's going for you guys. I want to know all about the process. If you have any questions, you can find me over at Unbreakably Bold. I'm also going to try to find a way to document my promise that I made to you guys and myself as well. So I will definitely be posting that at the podcast's Instagram. So be on the lookout for that as well. If you learned something from this episode, please be sure to review, subscribe, rate. All of those things are so appreciated and really just help this show continue to grow. Thank you so much for your time. I know there are so many other things that you could be doing. We're all busy people with limited energy. So I just want to truly thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. And I will talk to you guys next time. Catch you at the next episode. Bye.